Hi, my name is Shota.
And I'm Amber.
And welcome to the Kotatsu Club Podcast.
Where we talk about all things Japanese language and other stuff too.
Yeah. What's up, Amber?
Not much. How are you, Shota?
Good. Welcome to another episode of Kotatsu Club.
What are we talking about today?
AI, I think.
Yeah. Have you ever used AI before?
I use AI all the time for everything. Mostly ChatGPT. But
Yeah.
I work in AI.
Oh, no
Did
way.
you know that?
I didn't know
I work
that.
in AI. So, I'm not an engineer or anything. I don't do any of the fancy stuff. But I am in the AI industry.
Okay.
So I'm part of it. Not that I know a lot of it, but I do use AI all the time.
Do you ever use it to help with English? Like writing?
Oh, yeah, all the time. So, I don't know. Like, I speak better than I write
Yeah.
or read. So sometimes I ask ChatGPT to summarize an article or, write an email. Like, not from the scratch.
Yeah.
Of course, I come up with the content of the email, but, I use AI to spot the like grammatical mistakes and stuff like that. So yeah, like AI has been like a great help for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
I use it as well, kind of similarly. So I will sometimes like write an email. I have to write a lot of emails in formal Japanese, and I'll usually write out the email and then like ask ChatGPT to kind of like make it sound more native.
Okay.
Or like to correct my grammar, or just
Okay.
like proofread it in general, and it does a pretty good job.
It does. Yeah, it does. Thank you. Thank you.
You're responsible for ChatGPT.
I'm like single-handedly responsible for. Yeah, I don't work for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
OpenAI, but it's grown. Because essentially more data you have, more people use it, the better it gets.
I feel like it got better at Japanese.
Oh, it's gotten so
like,
much better.
It sucked at Japanese like 2 years ago.
Right.
Like when I used to try to use it to like cheat on my school's projects and like
School.
Yeah, when I was in Japanese language school.
I was like, we're at the same age. Like back in college, I didn't have no ChatGPT.
No, yeah, it was
Yeah.
like 2 years ago. I
Okay.
was in Japanese language school in Kyoto, and I used to have to write, what do you call it, speeches and essays. It would just take a long time, and I didn't want to do it, so I would ask ChatGPT to do it for me, but it really couldn't. It would like sounded terrible. I had to basically fix the whole thing. Like I was proofreading for ChatGPT. And I was like, this isn't really.
It gives you more work.
Yeah, this is actually more work than just writing from scratch.
No, it's the same thing, right? I guess as an example, Google Translate has gotten so much better.
Yeah.
I think
it's still not as good though as like ChatGPT's Japanese.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you think so? I don't know.
I think everything is like getting there, but I don't know. Yeah, I think ChatGPT is like still better.
Yeah, it's better than Google. I actually like, if I ask Google to translate, like if I just like write something into Google Translate in English and like with the Japanese it spits out, it sounds like textbook Japanese still. But whereas if I ask ChatGPT and I'm like, hey, can you make this sound like a native wrote it? It actually does it now.
Right.
Which is so cool.
Yeah, and Apple.
Yeah.
Now they have ChatGPT like built in to their devices now.
Oh, cool.
So like big tech companies like Google and Apple, they are starting to admit that like a ChatGPT's like AI engine's like much better than like their own.
Yeah.
Which is good, right? We should implement what's better, and So I think it's good. Do you think it's good for children, like when they are growing up? Because back in the days we had to like handwrite everything from scratch.
Yeah.
Do you think it's good for children?
Yeah, I think it definitely will stunt their writing skills. The same way, I don't know about you, maybe I don't know if it's the same for Japanese, but at least in English, I think my spelling is not as good as like the previous generation spelling because we have autocorrect. We don't write things by hand anymore.
Right.
So like I'm not good at spelling. I would consider myself like a pretty intelligent person.
Sure.
I did very well in school, but my spelling is kind of atrocious. Like if I don't have autocorrect.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing in Japanese. I don't remember a lot of kanji. I don't know if you have seen the kanji video we did together.
Yeah.
That kind of shows that displays that like actual Japanese people,
Yeah.
like we don't know how to write kanji anymore. But like I want to ask, like, is there such a bad thing?
Yeah, I don't think it is, to be honest, because I feel like our brain space is like we kind of evolved out of needing to do spelling and kanji because we have these devices, and our brain space can, like, I don't know. I feel like it's just taking up brain space.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, let's face it, right? Because, okay, when internet came out, I think there was like a same kind of argument, but children won't be able to, use the dictionary, and like who uses like paper dictionary anymore?
We don't need it. It's
we don't need
now.
it, right? So I think the whole ChatGPT argument is like kind of same thing.
Yeah, I think it definitely probably will stunt the next generation's writing abilities, but like maybe they don't need it.
Right.
Maybe they can focus on other things.
Yeah, maybe like 20, 30 years down the line, like people are arguing like, but like who writes essay from scratch anyways, kind of thing,
Exactly.
So
yeah, I always think about that stuff, and it's like very interesting with AI too, because like they say like, oh, like our jobs are all going to be taken by AI, but like if AI can take over the menial tasks, like if AI is like running all the fast food restaurants, like we can focus on we can use the manpower of our like society for better things.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be like
it's a whole
another.
I feel like we're getting out of the Japan.
Yeah,
really.
Like, do we need to work anymore? Like, what's labor?
Yeah, we don't need it.
Right.
We could all just be creative.
Exactly, so is it such a bad thing? But anyways, I guess here's another question: is that like, have you used like one of those like conversation partners?
I haven't personally used it, but I did when I was working for Eon. Eon actually developed their own like AI like conversation buddy that like students could like subscribe to. I did see a lot of people getting use out of it. They were like, oh, I feel like I can speak to it and not worry about making mistakes. Like, I'm not embarrassed. And so I'm getting really good conversation practice out of it, which I think is kind of cool. Like, I would like to try to use it for like speaking practice in Japanese.
Have you talked to ChatGPT?
I didn't know you could. Is there like a way that you can like speak to it?
Yeah.
Oh, there is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll try it because I definitely would like to have conversation practice
I don't know if it's available in Japanese yet.
Okay. It might just be English.
Yeah, but the English version, it's almost feel as though you're like having a conversation with an actual person.
Whoa.
Right? So if you're like I know you guys are not studying English, but like people that are studying English, such as myself, it's like a great studying tool. Like you said, you can have a conversation without worrying about like embarrassing yourself or making mistakes because you're talking to a computer.
Yeah, I should try it too, even with writing, because like I want to get better at like texting like a native Japanese person, because like my texting now definitely sounds like a textbook.
Right.
And I know like when I do text my Japanese friends, I'm sure they're using more easy Japanese with me. Yeah. So I could ask ChatGPT to not be easy and just like text me like a native. Like that's a good idea. I should try that.
Yeah.
I would say one place where I think it is limited is it still can't really do direct translation. So if I like write a paragraph in English, I'm like, hey, give me a native like Japanese version of this.
Right.
I still have to correct it after.
Right. No. You're absolutely correct. Because essentially what humans are trying to do with AI is that like we're the teachers, right? Because for example, when you utter something that depends on context, like lions, you know, like what does that even mean? Right? Yeah. Because in Japan, if you say lions, that means Saitama Seibu Lions. Yeah. But in Detroit, Michigan, that means Detroit Lions. Oh, Detroit Lions. Right? Okay. So the same words, but it depends on different context, right? So AI don't know that. So that's why, natural human, we still like need to like teach them. Right. Okay, in this context, there's like 80% chance that, this person is referring to Detroit Lions rather than Seibu Lions. Right. So
it's so funny. I didn't know what you were talking about at all when you were saying lions, but now I got it. Sports teams.
Yeah. right. She's not American.
Or I mean Japanese, but lions. Yeah, true. Team.
It's a baseball team.
I don't speak sports.
Right.
But anyway, okay. So yeah, I think it's really good for proofreading like your work, but it still can't really directly translate things.
Yeah. So I think it's like really important for you to understand what is good at and what is not good at and what it's like getting better at.
Yeah.
so that you can use it in a correct way, quotes and quotes, correct way.
Yeah. I'm really happy about how good it is, though. It's really making my life a lot easier with writing all of these emails, like the formal, like, totemo katai emails. Like,
I mean, as a content creator too, right?
Yeah.
Like I write most of my scripts for my YouTube videos with ChatGPT.
Oh,
Of course,
okay.
I'm gonna have to like fix them a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
or like I had to like give them like really like precise prompts so that like they'll come back with an answer that I want or like closer to something that I want. So yeah, it's been a great help for sure.
Yeah, I was so surprised, like, when I, like, asked it to proofread my email, and then, like, I sent it to my Japanese friend, and I was like, so basically I had ChatGPT, like, double-check my work, and then I had my friend double-check my work after that, and he was just like, this sounds like a native wrote it, like, I can't believe ChatGPT fixed this for you, and I was like, yes, I'm independent now, I don't have to constantly ask people to check my work, because I have ChatGPT.
That's good.
Yeah, should we get into the news story for today?
Yes, man.
So for those of you who don't know, every week Shota finds a simple Japanese news article and we'll see how much I understand and how much you guys understand. So let's
We'll try not to make it too simple.
頑張りましょう.
Yeah, 頑張りましょうね.
Something that I think a lot of people who are studying Japanese in school can relate to, and maybe when you were studying English you could relate to it too, is like when you're doing listening practice. Something I have to really try not to do is like I'll hear a word that I'm not sure what it is, and I'll start like contemplating what it means, and then like I miss the next few sentences while I'm like, like that's something I'm really guilty of. So I'm gonna try.
I mean,
really
I
hard
still struggle with that.
not to do that.
Yeah.
This time.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. じゃあ読みます。
はい、行きましょう。
東京都港区にある高さ333メートルの東京タワーは1958年にできました。4日、今までにタワーの展望台に登った人が1億9000万人になりました。ちょうど1億9000万人目になったのはアメリカのシアトルから結婚の旅行で来た夫婦でした。2人は花やプレゼントの品物をもらいました。夫のトビー・トングさんは5年前に結婚した後、新型コロナウイルスでずっと日本に来ることができませんでした。今日はびっくりしましたと話していました。東京タワーに登る人の 40% ぐらいは外国人です。東京タワーの会社は展望台を新しくして日本の雰囲気を楽しんでもらうことなどを考えています。以上です。はい。
Okay.
Okay, give me the gist, I guess.
Okay. I'm gonna try my best.
I mean, you can look at it.
It's about Tokyo Tower.
Right.
Apparently, it was built in 1958.
1958. How tall is it?
I didn't catch that number. I can. Well,
it's really easy, actually. It's 333, 333 meters.
33 Okay, so a word I heard that I didn't know was tenbo.
展望台.
What's that?
It's a...
Oh, wait,
what's it
don't
called?
tell me. Now I can see the kanji. So 10 is like Tenmankai, exhibition.
Right.
10. Bo is wish, and dai is machine. I still don't know what it means.
It's a observatory.
Observatory,
deck.
okay, got it. And
yeah, you can't really guess that from kanji. Right.
Yeah, from the kanji, It's not as obvious as a lot of other words are.
Right.
But okay, so yeah, a lot of people have climbed it since then. It was
1億9000万人.
9000万人になりました.
How do you say that in English?
1億
9000万人.
1,009,000.
Isn't it 10 million and 900,000 people? Right.
Okay. 10
Right?
million.
900,000.
Numbers are hard, guys.
Numbers are hard.
Yeah. So
especially when it comes to currency.
Oh my god.
I have no idea, especially with the
flag. Yeah.
the
I never know anymore.
yeah. So this married couple.
Wait. Let me.
Oh, sorry.
So this married couple from Seattle. They came here for their honeymoon.
Right.
And they couldn't come during coronavirus.
Right.
So like for a long time, like they really wanted to come, and they finally came. And what happened? That's it. They just came.
So they hit the jackpot, basically. You know.
Yeah.
So they're the.
Yeah. What was it saying about the shinamono? 2人は花やプレゼントの品物を
Right, so they
they
got
flowers.
gifted, right?
Yeah.
Because it's
For their like
for the-
kickon present.
no, because I think they were lucky because they're the 10 million
they're the
and
10 million
90,000th
To like
visitor
climb up. Oh,
or something
I
like
see,
that.
I see,
Yeah.
I see. なるほどね。
So it's actually good that they weren't able to. Well, I mean, it's not good, but like
Yeah, something positive.
yeah, something
happened.
positive happened.
Little silver lining.
Like, you know, it came out of it.
Oh,
So
that's so exciting.
Yeah.
I'm so happy if I just like was going to Tokyo Tower and received flowers.
yeah, so it's them.
Aw,
Yeah.
they're from
Yeah,
Seattle.
they do look like they're from Seattle.
Oh, do they? I don't know
Yeah.
what people from Seattle look like.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I saw at the bottom there was like 40% of people who climb Tokyo Tower are foreigners.
Foreigners, right?
I've never climbed. Have you?
I have. Yeah, when I
See,
first
this is what
moved to Tokyo.
We don't say climbed in English. We say gone up, I guess. Have you ever been up?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I just realized the like language thing. I accidentally said in English how I would say it in Japanese.
Yeah.
Like I climbed the tower. We don't say that.
That's good.
Because if you say it in English, you think of someone's like Spider-Man,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
climbing,
like climbing up
on
the
the
tower.
outside.
Yeah.
So have
Yeah.
you ever gone up
Yeah, I
Tokyo
knew
Tower?
I knew what you meant though. You know.
I know that you knew what I meant, but I thought it'd be like an interesting thing to share.
Yeah.
That like I just caught
Yeah,
myself
it's okay.
saying.
You know,
something
you make English mistakes sometimes. It's okay. It's okay.
Nobody
speaks
that's not
perfect.
what I'm
No, I'm just kidding.
saying.
I'm just kidding.
It's an interesting thing what happens to your brain when you're learning two languages.
But isn't it good though? Isn't it a good sign?
Is it? I don't know if it's a
Because-
good sign. I just think it means you're studying.
Because you're getting used to
saying things
Thing-
in Japanese.
right saying things in
How they're
Japanese,
said.
thinking in Japanese.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's good if you are trying to study Japanese.
Yeah.
If you live in America and like you start saying like weird stuff like that, then like it's
I
kind of bad.
pulled a cold yesterday. What? You what a cold?
So yeah, Tokyo Tower の会社. So I think what they're referring to the company that owns Tokyo Tower
Yeah.
is trying to remodel the observatory deck so that it's
Oh yeah.
more
Nihonfu?
like
Nihon
Japan,
Yeah.
日本の雰囲気, because the 40% of visitors are from outside of Japan.
Right. So
Yeah.
they want like a Japan experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Japanese people tend to do that. They're just like, oh yeah, let's make it more like Japan so
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
you know, foreigners can enjoy.
I definitely get that sense when I went to Skytree.
Yeah.
So I had to go to Skytree. I go there sometimes for work.
Okay. Oh, you've been to Skytree, but not Tokyo Tower.
Yeah, I haven't been up Skytree, but I've been like, so there's the Kirby Cafe.
Right.
So we have to
okay,
film there
yeah.
sometimes. So I was there actually recently, like 2 weeks ago, and it's very like tourist Japan. Like there's very like Nihonpoi, but it definitely
Yeah.
feels like a Japan amusement park.
What do you...
Like it
I
doesn't feel
kind of
like-
don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like it either, but I see how it's kind of good for tourists.
Right.
Like if I was a tourist who like just was coming to Japan and not really actually deeply interested in the culture, I think it's good. And it's kind of like Skytree is like away from like everything. So like it's like I don't know, a good place for like a concentration of tourists to be without
True.
like disturbing
True.
like
Yeah,
everyone.
I mean, as long as the you know the tourists are appreciating it, you know, that's good.
Yeah, but it's definitely like not somewhere you go if you want to experience like a real Japanese culture.
Right.
But it
Because if you think about it, right? If you think about it, if I'm going to I don't know, Greece, right?
Yeah.
I don't want Greek people to think of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't take me into your
Yeah,
consideration. You know,
yeah.
you do your thing. You know.
Yeah.
And I want to see that.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel
I don't wanna,
that's how I feel as well.
I was like, oh, you know, this Japanese guy is coming to Greece, so you know, let's just like cater and like pivot everything to
like a comfortable version for them.
yeah.
kind
I was
of.
like, I don't want no comfortable.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like I want just whatever you
I could
do.
see how it's good though for some people.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I think
for
you have
sure.
the option, right? Like if you want to have a deeper experience when you come to Japan, like you can do that. Go to Shikoku. Like you can do it.
True.
But if you also just are someone who's not that interested in Japan and want to more surface.
Yeah.
Like I think when my family comes to Japan, they're not interested in Japan. They just want to like see me and like I would take them to Skytree. They would like it.
Right, they would like it.
So like I think
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
balance would be
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
I don't have to worry about them being like loud Italians in in Skytree. Like they can just be like they themselves.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, like whereas if I take them to like a super local place and they're like picky eaters and
Yeah.
they're like, it might be a little more difficult.
Yeah.
For me. So I think it's kind of nice that exists and there's the option for that. But personally, it's not how I would like to travel.
Right. So one of my dream is to revitalize, is that a word? Revitalize.
That's a word.
The pilgrimage site, the 88 temple, the route in Shikoku. If you don't know, look it up. It's great. You know, basically you go circle around the island and you visit 88 temples.
Yeah.
And, you know, once you've done that, you know, this like a dragon from Dragon Ball shows up and like, you know, make your dream come true. That's the basic idea. Not really.
You get gifted with like native Japanese, like in your brain.
Yeah, so it's like a pilgrimage site, right?
Yeah.
I want to like revitalize it, but I want to do it in a way that like people from all around the world can come and have that experience without worrying about language barrier, what they eat, or where they stay, or you know whether if they're gonna be welcomed by locals, you know. So I guess like I can kind of see where they are coming from, you know. Once they're like you know welcoming people in from outside, like they want them to have a great time with it. So
yeah, that reminds me of like an interesting thing I was talking about with a friend recently, which was like there's a lot of with like the older generation, like that kind of has this, you know, like the Oji-san who's been like for 100 years doing the same knife creating like thing. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like those kind of crafts are dying, or like because this generation of Japanese, like Gen Z Japanese people, they don't seem to have an interest as much in these kind of old crafts.
Right.
And I think introducing them to foreigners is kind of a way to keep them alive almost. Because like for foreigners, they're like, wow, oh, this is like a new exciting thing. It's so cool. He's been doing the same thing for 100 years. This is like an ancient traditional craft.
Yeah, no, you just said it, right? You know, it's for people that are coming from outside, like seeing it from outside looking in.
Yeah.
You know, for them, it's like a new and exciting thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh yeah, no, you need to like keep the tradition alive. But then I think it's like the same thing everywhere, you know. If you're like inside a society, like you're focused on like feeding your family, you know, being the breadwinner of family or whatever. So like you focus more on stuff that are like more practical, beneficial, or you know, things that could help them make the living. So that's why, you know, younger people are more interested in stuff like IT, you know, service sector, stuff like that, you know, something that are highly lucrative.
Yeah, but I think what you said about the pilgrimage, the 88 pilgrimage, is like kind of applies to that because, getting more foreigners interested in it, right? Like help the areas, like revitalize the areas. And like, I've seen a lot of foreigners doing the pilgrimage when I was there.
Yeah. So when I was growing up in Shikoku, did I tell you like I had never seen non-Asian person until like age of like I was like 13 or 15.
Oh, wow, that's
like
crazy.
That. Yeah, like I was like a preteen. Yeah, exactly. I was like
born seeing every single country's
like,
type of person.
Like, this guy looks like Indiana Jones, you know. But it was like, oh, they do really exist. Okay, so he was actually an Italian person, came from Italy. He was doing the pilgrimage.
Okay, yeah.
He was just resting at my local Family Mart, you know, parking lot. I was huh, this guy, you know? So, yeah, like it's been a thing for a while, like in the international community, but like I think now that yen's much cheaper, information is a lot more accessible. Because when I was 13, it was like mid 2000s.
Like for Google
like
Maps, even was it functional back then?
Right. So it was like a lot more like a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
But now that, you know, people are more interested in it, It's more information accessible. I think it's like a lot easier to do. So yeah, I want people to know more about it.
For sure. Yeah, I really want to do it someday. It's
Yeah,
one
right.
of my goals. Have you done any of the pilgrimage? Like I've visited a few
I mean,
of the temples.
partially. Yeah.
But, like I've never like walked.
Yeah, I just never had that much chunk of time
Right,
at
yeah,
once.
same.
Yeah.
It's for retired people or foreigners who get like 1 month vacation, like European
Yeah.
travelers.
So I guess I was thinking maybe like I can like promote it in a way that set up the environment where like okay, you can get internet access here. So if you wanna work for like 2 days, like making I don't know landing page, make that $500 for you to like go on with the trip, then you could do it here, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're trying to do, right? Trying to like get in an environment where like we can work from anywhere, kind of thing.
For sure.
So I mean,
location freedom.
Yeah. So there are people that are doing it, so they can come to Shikoku and they can work while they do the pilgrimage, because the pilgrimage takes a couple weeks to a month, depends on like how much public transport you utilize. But if you're like on foot completely, it's gonna take like a month and a half. Yeah. So.
Okay, it's time for question of the day.
Okay.
Today's question is, hey Amber, I'm thinking about getting into teaching English for adults.
Ooh.
How did you find housing when you moved to Japan? Did the company pay and did they help you find the housing? Also, I heard that you only get 5 days of vacation. Was it hard to take off for Christmas and Thanksgiving? Any sick days included? Well,
I don't have those answers.
I'm sorry to inform you. I think you could probably speak for this too, like just like being an employee for a Japanese company. So yeah, 5 days off is kind of a normal thing.
That's true.
Here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How many vacation days do you get?
I get like 30 days.
Oh damn! Wow, that's more than I got in the U.S.
Oh, okay. So well, I get that's okay. So first of all, I don't work for a Japanese company. It's American.
Yeah.
It's a tech company. So don't think it's
not standard.
It's not standard. But
did you like? Are you saving? Did you accumulate 30 days, or you just get 30 days?
So you get like 20 days.
Okay.
And then
it carries over.
Yeah, I don't really take much days off, so like it's got like carried over. So that's why like I got like what, like 25, 30 days. But that's not normal at all. That's not normal at all.
I get 10 days.
But isn't like that's not that.
It's pretty bad because we don't. My company's not a Japanese company. We don't have like a full week off for Golden Week. So we don't have a full week off for Obon. So
really,
I just have 10 days. I have the national holidays, but it's not like my company's going to give the full week the way that a Japanese company usually does.
Right.
So
you have to fill the gap.
Yeah, I fill the gap with my 10 vacation days, which sucks.
Right.
It's rough if you work for a Japanese company, unless you are lucky and you work for a big tech company that's American. You will have to likely have shit vacation days. As for housing, usually if you are working for an English teaching company, they will provide the housing or at least help you find the housing. My company provided it, so I didn't have to worry about that, and I really liked that. Some people don't like it because they feel like they're tied to their company. If they hate their job, they can't quit because they have their apartment. Personally, I liked it because finding an apartment in Japan when you don't live in Japan as a foreigner is very difficult.
It's pretty difficult for everybody, let alone like foreigners that are like just moving into Japan. So yeah, I think it's
that was a lifesaver, and my
helpful.
company actually subsidized the housing, so I only had to pay 50,000 yen for my apartment, which was amazing. I had to save
50,000?
so much money. Yeah, the company subsidized it. They paid like anything after that. And it doesn't matter where in the country you live. If you live in the center of Shibuya or if you live in the countryside of Kochi, if you work for that company that I worked for, your rent will never be more than 50,000.
But back in Kochi, did it even cost 50,000?
It did. It costed more than 50,000 because I was in Kochi City, so it was the major city of the prefecture, and it also was a fully housed, came with Wi-Fi, like fully housed, fully furnished. It came with Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it would have costed more if my company didn't subsidize it.
Right.
But they did, and it was great. And I forget the second part of the question. Oh, about Christmas. you're not gonna have off for Christmas.
Nah.
I'm so sorry to tell, and especially not Thanksgiving. Like that's not a holiday here. Thanksgiving is a weird American holiday.
Right.
I was not able to go home for Christmas when I worked full time as an English teacher. Now that I work remotely, I am able to go home for Christmas. We do have a week off for Christmas, my company.
That's
good. But that's not standard in a Japanese company, especially an English teaching company. Some of the English teaching companies do give you off for Christmas because they employ a lot of foreign employees.
Right.
But mine was not one of them.
Right,
I was
right.
the only foreigner in my
Like,
branch,
don't you need, like, doesn't it even, like, get busier during, like, Christmas break? Because Christmas is not, like, a big deal out here in Japan.
I wouldn't say it's busier. It's kind of nothing because like it's a normal day for
right,
people
right,
here.
right.
Like they're going to school, they're going to work, they're coming to their English class. Like it's not.
Is it true that, okay, so yes, Japan is notorious for like having like a very little to none days off.
Right.
But is it true that we get more national holidays?
Oh my god, so much more. It's almost.
I feel like we have like a lot of national holidays.
Yeah, I think it's actually, and you end up almost having off more working in Japan, or almost about the same. Maybe it kind of evens out.
Right.
I think in the U.S. I had 18 paid days off for my first full-time position, salaried position, and I only had 5 paid days off in Japan.
Right.
But I had like 3 weeks scheduled paid off for the holidays, so it ended up being 5, 10, 15, 20 days off. So it ended up being like about the same because in the US I'll have national holidays too. But there's so much less. It's about the same.
Yeah.
But what's limiting about working for an English teaching company is you can't just take off for Christmas. You are bound to the national holiday
What
calendar.
about sick leaves?
I did get sick days. It was just like, don't get sick.
So you
And if you do get sick, you have to use one of your 5 days.
What?
Yeah, that's how it was when I worked for Eon.
That's crazy.
Now, luckily, my company now is like, if you're sick, you just take off and it doesn't count as a holiday. So
There's no there's no number.
no,
Oh wow, that's good.
yeah, I didn't get sick at all last year though. So I didn't.
Man, you
I didn't-
should.
I know.
You
I should have got sick, or at least
I
pretended.
get sick all the time. yeah. But yeah.
So yeah, also working remotely, I get a little more leeway. Like if I want to work from New York, like visiting my family for Christmas, I can. I don't have to use my vacation days.
That's good.
Yeah.
Would you still like recommend people to like come to Japan as an English teacher though?
Oh yeah, it's a great foot in the door to Japan. It's kind of sucks. Like that's just something you have to put up with your first year is maybe having less vacation than you're used to. But once you're here and you have the visa, you can expand after you complete your English teaching contract. Like you can go on to do other things once you're in the country. There's a lot less opportunities that hire from overseas and a lot more opportunities that hire from within Japan for foreigners. So.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to keep in mind that it's just an anecdote, and take everybody's experience and advice with a grain of salt for sure.
For sure. You'll see a lot more bad things online about English teaching than good things because I think people are just more likely to want to rant and like vent when they have bad experiences.
What do you think determines? Is that like people's like attitude or like it's more like an environmental aspect that?
I think it's a mix of both. Like if you're going into it like dreading teaching and like just thinking of it as a foot in the door to Japan, you're not gonna have a good time probably. But if you're going into it with an open mind and being like, oh my god, this is so exciting, like it's a new experience, I get a year break from like my usual work, I get to like meet people and be like, I don't know, get to experience the culture a little bit, if you go into it with a positive outlook like that, you're going to have a better time.
Right.
And it is also like luck too, like you might get stuck with like in a shitty location that doesn't resonate with you, and you might get like shitty coworkers, or you might get what I got, which was amazing coworkers and an amazing environment that's like super Ghibli-esque and like great.
Go to Kochi or like go to Shikoku.
Yeah, go to Ahime.
Because I'm like half joking, half serious, because in Shikoku, like I said, people like have never seen people like you or like foreigners in general.
Yeah.
Okay, that came out weird, but so like you're like a rare commodity there. Like people
People are definitely like not sick of tourists there the way that they are like in Tokyo.
Right. So like in Tokyo or like in Osaka, Kyoto, and the bigger cities, like you're just nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you get
kind
to
of
be
become a little locally famous when you're a foreigner living
Yeah.
in the countryside for sure.
So
Yeah, people will be more interested in you. You'll have more chance to connect with people. Definitely recommend the countryside.
I think that's gonna like help you to understand and the culture better and like accelerate your like language skill. I mean, like you speak better Japanese than like most of the people that I know here in Japan, Tokyo. So I mean,
Yeah, I think I saw this girl on like TikTok recently. I think I told you about this. It was not recently. It was actually like a while ago. But anyway, she said it was a girl who hires people, and she was like, when I'm looking at someone's resume, I look at where they studied abroad. If they studied abroad in like China or like Russia, like I'm interested in you. Like you're like doing something interesting. But if you study abroad in Tokyo, don't even like count it as studying abroad because it's so similar to the US. It's so comfortable for like a person from the US that it's almost like, I don't know, you don't really experience the culture really. In Tokyo, you can like live in a foreigner bubble, an English bubble. It's very similar.
I agree with that.
To American.
I do agree with that. Yeah.
Lifestyle here. It's very westernized in Tokyo. So.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I study as an American. Like, I study abroad in like Australia, Canada. I was like,
Yeah, like Tokyo's like almost on the same like level. A little different.
A little different.
But like,
Tokyo's very comfortable. It's a comfortable city.
You don't have to speak Japanese here. You don't. But in the countryside, you do a little bit.
You do. So
yeah, we recommend Shikoku.
I do. Honestly, I do. Yeah, I do.
I loved it there. If there were more job opportunities, like I would love to like move there.
Because honestly, because okay, so I was like, dude, man, like you obviously you don't speak perfect English, but like you sound natural. You feel comfortable because I am comfortable, you know, because I lived in like middle of nowhere Michigan. You know, I worked at a dairy farm. You know, I was like milking cows and stuff. You know, so
I mean, more American than me.
I feel real comfortable. You know, like I make mistakes, but like where you start, I think matters.
I agree.
Sorry, like it's like a little bit off topic, but like if you have a choice, I think you should because Langi.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
Yeah, he lives in Oita, right?
He lived in Oita,
so
you know.
Good at Japanese.
So good at Japanese. So that's true. That's something that.
Everyone who's good like started in the countryside.
Right, because you know it'll put you in a position where like you have to talk.
Yeah. You
have to talk in a local language. I mean. Sounds pretty obvious, but...
Yeah, you don't have to in Tokyo.
You don't have to in Tokyo.
At all.
So there's that.
But anyway, I think we should get going now. It's time for lunch.
Yeah. Email?
Oh, yes. Send us an email at kotatsuklubbpodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions, we will answer them. So.
All right. I'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.